Excuse me, find a seat, please. Please, find a seat. At 9 o'clock, baby, you can mingle, please.
You live around it, don't you? Do you want to buy some?
Later, yeah. Later. Stay quiet. Please, let the group in the middle. Can you get as far away from each other as possible and sit away from each other? Tall man who's not listening. Small man who's not listening. Third man who's not listening. Yes. Different directions away from each other, please, away from them. You were sitting there before, please, away. Don't sit beside each other, lads, please, come on. We want you on other sides because I want to try and change the weighting.
I mean, it's a...
Oh yeah, no, place is safe. The cops are here, they're in big though. Can you imagine that? I'm already getting little slurs coming up on the stage here from all these people who chose to come up on the stage that I'm some sort of manipulating thing. It's fair enough for that to be saying. And it's best for me to say why do things the way I'm doing them. I did just notice that there was 2 or 3 people which became 5 or 6 people, but they were all in the one corner. We've all got a different weight. The weight of a soul, it's a different weight. It conglomerated, it's resonance. Felt comfortable around each other. Feel comfortable around each other. If we scatter those heavier weights, distribute among the lighter weights and the medium weights, then hopefully this time we don't have one corner that's doing all the talking and everyone else feeling like, yeah, it's okay to sit in the sidelines. That's an old paradigm and it's fine, we did it better than it's ever been usually done. Let's try a different paradigm now. Where this time hopefully we've resettled our resonance keys. Somehow. Sweeping brush, dust, settling. You two, can you just to humour me, can you move to diametrically opposed places? You and this one. Diametrically opposed, yeah. That's cool, man, thanks.
I was just like to let you know about a case that happened in Town Court a few days ago. I don't know if anybody knows about the Anthony John Hill case of the report effects. Basically, 2 hours ago, he declared a verdict in the jury, and basically what happened in court was basically the defence actually showed 77 ripple effect to the jury, and he did talk about 9/11 being an inside job quite a bit in court. And basically the jury decided today that that he found he's accused of preventing the course of justice for sending his documentary 7-7 report to the jury and the judge of a case 3 years ago in Kingston Crown Court. And basically, the jury found him 10-2 not guilty. He went to prison for his life's been like hell for the last 2 years. He's been like in house arrest for quite a long time. It's now
for me, he's a very courageous man. And listening to these talks on the internet, he does. I feel that he feels alone
in the middle.
This, and the way he was
In the middle.
he was appealing to people to stand around because he did something which he felt needed to be done because there were these free agent people who were accused of doing something they hadn't done, and he had information which showed the whole thing to be a farce. But by doing so, he knew he didn't really have an organisation around him to look after his back. And over the last 2 years now, he's been going on chat shows, very kind of local chat shows, just telling people what's done, and they haven't really grasped the severity of what is going on. He believes, for example, the Queen is a fake Queen, something to do with Ruby. He was challenging the whole thing.
Yeah, he tried to do that, and then the judge dismissed him straight away. He showed the coronation inside.
Absolutely. So it looks like, for example, what he's done. He's done a double bluff, where he's got something even bigger than the case itself, and it's like, we'll give you this one, but forget about that one. Okay?
Yes.
Yes. He's got a lot of evidence to show. He's not a stupid man. I'm sure he's one of those people who believe in the crown to the point where he would, die for the Queen, and then suddenly he sees something which didn't hold true because he's a man of, fact, and he's challenged it on this basis, and they've arrested him because he has this information, and not guilty, which is good.
What about the sorry, what was the charge?
The charge was
the course of justice.
versus the court of justice because he sent the DVD 7-7. The ripple effect. He found it on the internet, and
He made the film.
he made the film. And the judge, basically before the court case, already claimed the free agent people as being guilty. He said, "Well, you know they're guilty, but we'll continue anyway." And he thought, this is strange. This is called law. Yeah. And so there was all this going on, in the meantime, and he sent this DVD. So, hey, look, can't be true. These guys are innocent. So they thought, hang on, they put a spotlight on him. He was, in fact, he was living in an island at the time, Sovereign Island, and on receiving the DVD, the judge got an arrest warrant from the EU. They arrested him in Ireland, brought back to England under house arrest. Yeah, and he's been in one prison for 150 days.
So did he get sentenced to 30 years though, didn't he?
That?
Did he get originally sentenced to 30 years?
It could have been. It could have been. Yeah. But bear in mind, he's 62 years old.
He posted the DVD to the court, didn't he? To the members of the jury at the court, and I think they intercepted. And obviously then came extradited to England
And is the video?
Yes, 7-7 record.
He can send it to the
Yeah,
prosecution under defence as well.
Yeah.
You would. Yeah.
But this is the type of thing to spread your information that certain people are prepared to go to.
But it was the three guys were friends of the four supposed bombers, and that was they were trying to pick the three mates up.
Friends of who?
They knew something
The
about
7-7
what was going
bombers.
on and tried to fit these three guys up as well. And so that's why he stepped in and sent these videos and said, look, they had nothing to do with it. Just they knew the guys, but try to hold them up in court, basically.
So, if I read it right, what we're introducing at this point into the conversation is the level of espionage by the state against all the people. Do you understand that straight up?
Is there anybody here with first-hand experience with that in regards to the other week?
Oh, the other week, what?
The wedding, I don't know how many people when they've got linked for the pre-crime
Oh, right,
public
yeah.
nuisance.
Yes, it's one guy, and he's a professor in property.
Christopher Knight.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who were arrested. Okay, let's not go into the specifics. We can read newspapers for that. It's the concept that's important because the concept is in place. These are little test cases so that we know it's in place. But the concept is important, not the bit of a leak we've had.
Because they haven't actually written any new laws or anything for it, they just interpret.
What they're doing, essentially, if you look at an overview, is they're making squatting illegal, or they've already passed the law. Who the fuck knows?
So what, sorry?
Squatting.
Yeah.
Something that's been around since King Henry VIII. Fucked off a certain thing to do with the Pope. And the thing we talked about earlier, we're talking about something earlier where...
So is the law or the statute we're talking about? The statute to be named.
Yeah,
So it's
stupid
not
statute,
law,
yeah.
But these laws,
So it's
they
bluff.
didn't realise the elite think about 70 years in advance, or even more. A lot of the laws and ideas that they put forward to bills, they surface and use for their own means later on down the line, and that's obviously what
I feel sorry for them if they're thinking 70 years into the...
What it means when they bring out a statute that says that they can go into any squat, any place that financially is behind arrears in rent or mortgage. It means that they can send the police in there and take those birth certificate bodies out of the way. That's imminent, if not already a fact, and just not something they want to publish.
It doesn't really matter because they're going to create laws whenever they want anyway.
Yes.
Statutes. I've told it 65,000. I mean,
Yes.
they'll just make them up as they go along.
So I'm rising up out of a specific into a concept, and like you're saying, it's just a concept, it's just one of the things. What I'm pointing out then to a trend, and I'm saying the severity of this trend is what's getting us together. It's like light and dark doing this interweaving thing, isn't it?
Because we're talking about an elite who not many people in the world have an inside knowledge of.
Yeah, agreed.
So the important question is, how much are we being coerced and coaxed into what we're doing now?
Yeah.
It's like part of the programme to get people to come together and to form these alternative communities. Are we actually doing exactly what's being asked of us?
Yeah.
But
And they are.
I think the clue is in the Matrix film. You know,
Yeah.
The fact is that the people in Zion, I hate to use that word, the people in Zion were allowed to go there because that was part of the system to allow that pressure valve to allow people to escape. Otherwise, they could stay in the system and destroy it.
But this meeting alone has been totally allowed, because if they really didn't want this to happen, we wouldn't be here now.
No.
What can you do?
Again, the principle that you can depend on with that, or what I've depended on as a principle with regard to this, is I imagine this is riddled with eyes and ears. As I said to Danny last thing before I got out of the car and walked in here late, is that if I hadn't called this thing, I'd be an infiltrator, because I ain't part of any groups. Don't want to be part of any groups. So I would be an infiltrator. I'm not working for the system.
Me too. I wanted
But
to
I'm
be
an
the group.
infiltrator, like I'm not part of it.
Like
just here watching.
for the eyes and ears,
Not bad.
it's a lot more today.
I want to
No,
know.
it's okay. I know the eyes and ears are here as well. Basically, for the eyes and ears that are here, we're not scared. We have no fear, and your energy gives us more energy, and it's not going to stop until it changes. And I will die for my belief, and I would say most of the people here are here for a reason, and we've been brought here together. I feel so much energy. I'm at the door frame,
The threshold.
the threshold. If I was going into the dock, I'd stand at the same place, so they couldn't get jurisdiction. But it's nice to see everyone here. That's my word for.
And for the agents anyway, while you're on ship, you might as well enjoy yourself. So,
Can I just ask, how many people know about the person here?
think it's
Right.
No, that's fine.
Okay, so everyone here believes
Is
that
it
they're not a
everyone? No,
person.
shh, shh. One step.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
step. Is it everyone? Does everyone know what a person is?
Does anybody not know what a person is
I'm a
legally speaking?
hologram. I'm a hologram.
Right.
I am.
But that's where I was about to go. So if we're not a person, what are we?
Human beings.
I'm a man.
I'm a self-organised bag of bacteria.
I don't know.
I don't know. It definitely got a lot of answers.
That sticks of that. Very pious.
So all by our language, when we learn language from infancy of our environment, we are programmed. Our neural networks form the shapes of our brains, and they govern our personality for us, which is mostly why we don't know who we are anymore, is because we're not really understanding the process, that our personality is formed for us by an unconscious process. And our body is inside of our spirit, and our identity is aligned with that spirit that envelops our body. And there's the truth about language, which they've abused with legalese.
You just said body is in the spirit.
Yeah.
Can you explain that?
Spirit is the densest form, the body is the densest concentration of my soul essence. My soul essence travels through light down here, through time and space. I have learned, and it can be learned, and there's books that claim these things, but don't stand up and say, I have learned it ain't that hard really, although it's fucking hard. Okay.
So you know this or believe it?
I know it. I've known it for a long time, but I know it now enough to like, oh, you guys know it too. I'm not scared of you guys anymore. I have been, like 5-6 years I've been up down. Some of you might remember me from before 6 years ago, but a few of you have met me in between years. You don't know most of you. You probably know each other more than you know me by the looks of things. I'm very intrigued. From my point of view, like this is working perfectly.
So it doesn't matter that we're physically enslaved.
I'm not.
Nobody's physically
I'm
enslaved.
not. It's a concept which you have issues with. I don't have those issues with.
I'd like to have something to say about that,
Yeah,
right?
I know, I hear you.
Because what I want to say is like beliefs and philosophies and religion and spirituality and all that and all these ideas, they really are a personal matter. When it comes to working with each other, what matters is how we behave towards each other in the community. Now, I don't have any beliefs that govern how I behave in the community. It's not a belief-driven reality. For me, it's an experiential, knowledge-based reality. There are certain things I know about listening, about not listening, about giving, receiving, that make my interactions with other people work. But they're not belief, they're based on experience. I'm a parent, I've worked with my own children to work out a way that we can be empathic with each other so that we get on and we understand each other. Because the children, when they were 6 months old and they were going, yeah, they knew exactly what they meant. They knew their meaning. They
Yes,
just
I
hadn't
agree.
learned the language of the new
Utterly
language.
agree.
Now,
Utterly
hang on a
agree.
second. So the point is that we can talk about our personal beliefs, right? And you know, it's interesting. But really, what matters is how we behave towards one another in the communal space. That's what this is about. We're living in a system where there are people who have a certain amount of power. There's a power disparity between the parents with the guns and the children without the guns. And we want that resolved because we want our children to grow up in an environment that's not like that. So it's not about, there is 63 people here, there'll be 63 different sets of beliefs. They're not in competition with each other. They can't be seen to be, or to be discussed as being in competition with each other. In addition to each other, or there's no contrary. What's important is our behaviour in the community.